So I go to this wedding, right?
All right.
And we get to the church, and there's obviously a buzz in the church. Like, nothing's going exactly according to plan. You can just tell, right? There's a buzz. And I look over to my right and to my left because I thought I heard something. Anyway, these people were talking about, the relationship between the bride and the groom, and perhaps the bride was behaving in a loose manner. And I chimed in, and I was like, haven't you people ever heard of closing the god door?
God damn it.
And the guy looks at me, and I'll never forget it. And he just looks right at me, right? And it's this older guy, kind of monocle, white mustache vibe. And he said, it's much better to face these kinds of things with a sense of poise and rationality. And then I started thinking, well, technically, I guess, if the loose behavior rumors turned out to be true, that, technically the marriage would be saved at that point. And, it would have been an open bar reception as is. So they're starting to wheel in the food and the alcohol and the wine and the champagne. And the guy, the monocle guy, is like, this calls for a toast, so pour the champagne.
So you made it home safe through the blizzard?
Yeah. The rule of thumb for, the Erie area / Cleveland, I guess, is don't put the snow shovels away until May. So, yeah. It had been kind of warm there for a little while. Or this winter hasn't even been that bad, but and to be honest, this current little Arctic blast, I guess it wouldn't be technically an Arctic blast because that's not where it's coming from or originating. But this cold snap, not even that bad, really. I remember driving to school. Oh my God, I'm turning into the people I hate. Already, I'm not even 30. I don't already become the uphill both ways guy, but I just somehow recall in my head eerie winters where you'd be driving on a not plowed 12th Street, and like the ice was too thick to really chip off the window if you were running late. So I remember hanging my head out the window, kind of skidding on the ice on 12th. And then French being okay by the time I took that left to go up French to head to Academy. But it might be a little bit of revisionist history there. My head wasn't out the whole way or anything, but it felt a little more perilous than my trip home tonight was, which is nice.
Oh, okay. Well, I
How's
mean,
Denver?
Dude, it was 70 degrees and I was sweating my ass off today.
That sounds nice,
and
I
terrible.
will refrain from becoming. I'm not even that mad about it. New Mexico, I enjoyed being in the Mountain West time zone. It's very pleasant. Nothing too extreme either way.
Right. I think we're supposed to see 80s this Saturday.
High plains, bro?
I guess so.
Yeah, I don't know, actually. I don't even know if I want that to be a reoccurring line I do. Like, that high-pitched, condescending question. I was listening to a show the other day. Our show, I guess, but... And I just hate it.
Grind, bro?
Like, I'm surprised you want me to still be involved, just to be, like, super frank about it. Anyway, apologies to everyone. Yeah. To all of our Twitter followers and Aaron, to all the Aarons out there, specifically the real one. I'm most sorry to him.
God, yeah, I don't miss the snow. I'll tell you that. Especially because when it snows, I can't work, and there's the neighbor showering, always right on time. Oh, no, maybe not. I don't know.
Ooh.
Yeah, so,
did I tell you I figured out the people above me are male college students?
Oh, God.
Yeah, I thought it was a pretty serious domestic violence thing. And I was really contemplating some nights because of how loud the bangs were.
Right, yeah.
Like whether or not, like what is my role as a fellow human on this earth type thing. Because it was getting pretty like like some screaming, really banging around.
Oh.
Then one night I was out, chose to sleep out in the living room. I just fell asleep on the couch. And I woke up to them just hemming and hawing, or whatever the saying is, about some basketball game. And it was obviously some young men having a good time. So I think I'll lay off for now. But anyway,
man, I don't know what the deal with my upstairs neighbors are. I feel like, so there's a YouTube video. It's like a comedy video. It's like the art of being an upstairs neighbor.
Yeah.
It'll be in the show notes. Our show notes are on www.elemental.fm/reminiscent/18 for this episode. It's such a funny video. And when I saw it, I had some really awesome upstairs neighbors. Couldn't hear a thing from anyone. And now that it's my reality, I am absolutely just, oh God, I just relate to it way too much.
Well, I think my pair currently are Greco-Roman wrestling enthusiasts, which is what I've stuck with. I've used that before, and I'll retire it tonight. But so Jessie is an upstairs neighbor currently, and her downstairs neighbor went to their landlord about the sound of her cat during the day running around.
God.
Just the sound of the pouncing. Like I work third shift and I have to sleep during the day. And she was complaining. Jessie's like the most meek, quiet person in general. And, just like, could you tell her cat to not move as much during the day? I'm trying to, it's just maybe half of the people are good, half the people are bad, and they just happen to be living above or below each other, depending on that. And some of these buildings, man, this building is not in good shape. I told you that water came through the ceiling, right?
Yeah, we did a whole section on that.
Sure. Well, recently, the hallway light, you know me, I'm not a scary movie guy. Admittedly, I'm a wimp when it comes to that stuff.
Same.
I think I'm more jumpy than fearful, but I'm also fearful, actually, now that I think about it. But there's a hallway light that's been flickering like old psych ward style flickering. Oh, man. It is just horrific, man. But it's weird. You're just an adult that has to go through their life. Like, I still have to get my mail, and I still have to walk in from work at night, and this and that. So it's like I have these chores to do that I have to complete. Whereas a kid, I'd be like, no, maybe I'll come out of my room tomorrow. Maybe not. We'll see. See how I'm feeling. I'm just going to turn off the lights, run, jump, clear the bedpost, and land safely into my bed while touching as little floor as possible, just in case a hand does a sweep motion out from under the bed to try to get me.
Right.
And, no one ever did. So I'd like to think, my youth jumping abilities were adequate for the suburbs anyway.
God, yeah, our neighbors have just been like, I don't understand what would necessitate so much noise other than they're just fucking with us. Like, before we started recording, I was holding a can of root beer in my hand, and it sounded like someone just threw a bowling ball at the floor right over my head, and I jumped so hard that I like splashed root beer all over my face, and like there's no need for it at like 9:30 at night.
I'm really sorry, but that sounds fucking hilarious.
Well, dude,
just like, whoa, like,
just
oh man,
out of total silence, and shit like that happens all the time, and my dog will start shaking because there's just all this banging. And who knows what it sounds like to a dog, but he will, dude. He'll go in the corner and just start like vibrating because this person upstairs is just making so much noise.
Can we do an episode about how things sound to dogs?
I think, yeah, I'll just,
You want to do that now? Let's just switch gears.
I'll just turn the volume up 1,000% and
right.
And give it the old in Rugrats when like Dee Dee would yell at Spike and it was like remember that?
I was thinking it would be like that ringtone parents can't hear, like in high school, how everyone downloaded that really high pitch.
Oh yeah, the cricket tone. I had that in high school.
Yeah, so the teacher couldn't hear it or something. To me, I don't know if that actually worked. I just thought it was annoying. I was like, oh my God. Like if another gosh darn person shows me this, I will be quite hot about this topic.
I was showing everyone that on my
Well, yeah,
Motorola
you showed
Razr.
me, but then like 5 other people were like, check it. Miss Pole's totally not going to hear this. And I'm like, how? It's making vibrations in the room. The sound waves are affected. Anyway. Although Cameron got me to like put pennies under my tongue and chug as much orange juice as I could to try to get myself to throw up and leave school. So maybe we were all a little more gullible than we would like to think back then.
So
I'm sitting there like my stomach's starting to feel real irony, you know, like not ironic, but iron, like the metal or bronzy, whatever.
he gave someone a ride home the day that we did that was it Miss Dietrich? It was our 11th grade English class.
It was English, yeah.
And he claims that
that poor woman.
He threw up on the way home.
I believe it. He had Crohn's disease.
I should be laughing. I'm sorry. Crohn's disease is not funny, guys. Stop laughing.
Okay. So I paused to make you feel a little worse than you deserve. But no, he went frequently down to get, I don't know if it was blood transfusions or what, but he had a very severe case actually. So it's hard to say. Maybe it had a different reaction. All I know is that it was almost like we were given a dose of our own medicine because we just felt worse, but not bad enough to leave school. So all we did was make ourselves feel physically poor throughout the rest of the day.
And the point of it was, so it was like early on in 11th grade, we had a teacher who like, she did the whole introduction thing. And at the end, she's like, "And something you need to know about me. If you puke, I will puke." Like, do not throw up in my classroom. And she made such a big point about it that we were all like, we're going to have to throw up in this class.
Well, we were seniors or were we juniors?
We were juniors. Year.
Yeah. I think we were so we told a lot of stories last week about how just things we did that were perhaps... Anyway, this was the beginning of that to unfold like, oh, this woman has a weakness for vomit. Let's expose it immediately. Let's shove pennies down our throat. Like, what can we do? What can we consume to make us puke so she'll puke? Like, we gotta see this woman's range. Is she bluffing or no? Meanwhile, she's just honestly trying to do her best to get us prepared for an NAP test. We're just like, nah, we should really put a lot of resources into this puke thing. And it didn't even work.
What a bunch of assholes.
Yeah, pretty much, man. Sorry again to everyone. That's what this podcast is just going to become. I'm just going to realize things that I feel sorry for.
This is your confession.
I'm just very sorry, everybody. Yeah, it's like Taxi Cab Confessions or Murder, She Wrote. 2 things I've never seen before, so I don't know if they're similar to this situation, but...
and I'm just going to laugh the whole time.
All right. Well, we should probably get to this week's topic, huh?
Well, we got some follow-up. I got some follow-up. I got a lot of things to talk about.
Nice. Yeah, so keep waiting.
So,
Aaron,
real quick, we talked about the company party thing, hanging out with friends last week. Should I go? Yeah. Should I not go? Should I be friends with my coworkers?
Half-Life is showing up. You got to go. That's a recap from last week for everybody.
Yeah, and I really like that line. I made that.
It's good, right?
I made that a very big, bold, centered quote in our show notes. It was great, and I really took it to heart. I showed up to the company party. One of the guys in our crew bailed because some of his friends from college showed up from out of state. Kind of surprised him, and they all hung out. Understandable.
Yeah, that sounds really nice.
Yeah. They went like fishing or something. I don't know. But I went, and it was a bar that had we had the VIP lounge. And I found out there were 3 other offices within our company there. I was like, oh, this is going to be a really great opportunity to meet people. Well, it ended up just the guys in my crew bowling for free. They had a little bowling alley. It was a full-size bowling alley. We just bowled for an hour, got bored, and then ended up kind of going home. So
sounds fun. Bowling's rarely uneventful. I mean, it's kind of like mini golf. Not everybody maybe doing it likes it, but they know they're out. It's better than being at home, I guess. Pay your few bucks for a game.
Yeah, and it was a lot of fun. And there was a girl there who was the girlfriend of one of the guys I work with. God, he claims he's seen me around. I feel like I see people there every day that I swear I've never seen.
Do you tell him he's
before.
dumb and that you just moved there?
No. He's like, no, I've seen you around like the shop because I work with like 60 guys, but we never talk in the morning. We just load our vans and go, you know. But his girlfriend came over and she was pretty God, wasted. I don't know.
Okay.
And she was
I had
bowling
no idea where that was going.
and she was bowling in heels, which I thought was pretty impressive. She wasn't any good or anything. But,
well, to be honest, it's pretty unsafe and ill-advised, if you ask me.
It was, not a good move. And apparently, there is a thing.
Those shoes are tested, man. Those shoes are approved by the. Nah, I don't know where I'm going with that.
Well, I was wearing
good
some
on her,
Nikes.
I guess.
I don't know.
Oh, you were going sneaks, huh?
Oh, dude, it was awesome.
Don't you need a little slide though? A little bit of slide.
No.
Put a little stank on it. Put a little flair.
But
like, you know how people, or at least maybe that's why I'm such a shitty bowler. I focus more on how far my leg kicks out and how much like a bowler I think I look. I don't think I've ever cracked 135.
Oh man, my high score, which was a miracle, was a 191. But I think my Saturday morning.
That's like middle-aged bowling league score.
But I think that my Saturday morning 7th grade bowling league average was like a solid 110, 120 or something.
191 though, it takes a lot to see. I think I'm built like a weak, I don't know, person. And I don't know, I just like in pitching in baseball, I can never throw a ball very fast. I can never just naturally lift heavy things, you know. And about halfway through a bowling match, I'm just like, "F this, man. This is bullshit." I don't know. It's like I'm not good. I'm not strong enough to be good for 10 whole frames. That's for fucking sure. So I don't know. You were always stronger than I was. So I picture you just like, you know, for 3 straight games, just 30 frames of throwing fucking fire down the lanes.
You know, I've always, I enjoy it, but I don't enjoy doing something that when I'm not doing well at it. So like the first game that we played, I bowled and I was trying. I bowled like a 60 or something. Like I was just getting pissed. And I mean, we're using plastic balls, like the house balls, and we were like kind of thrown up against like a wall. So it wasn't even like, I hate to sound like this, but it wasn't even like a regulation width of where you could stand. You know what I mean? But it was fun, and I wasn't there to like bowl a perfect game. But it was fun.
Why not, man? Why would you show up if you don't want to win, man? What kind of life attitude is that, man?
But yeah, so that was good.
I'm a realist.
God, I was talking to Julie on Twitter throughout the week.
Oh, the one who told us to listen to Hamilton?
Yeah.
Oh, I take that back. A cover of a Hamilton song.
Right. Because we talked in the last episode about me having to go down to Colorado Springs, or the Springs as we call it now.
Do you though?
God, that started today as a surprise. And I
guess it saves you 3 syllables.
Right.
4. Sorry. I got to stop trying to count fast in my head without consulting my fingers first.
But my cushy 20-minute commute 4 days a week is going to turn into like a 2-hour commute 5 days a week now, working like 12-hour days, including the commute, which I didn't think we were going to get paid for, but now we are. So I'm going to be working like 60 hours a week on the clock, it seems like, in addition to all the podcast stuff. And
that sounds like hell, but the paychecks will be nice.
Right. And
although I don't mean to cut in. You can finish your thought.
No, I'm kind of freaking out, dude. Like, I've mentioned in a past episode that I have Tourette's, and it's super minor, but I do this eye blinking thing when I get stressed out. And to be honest with you, since I moved to Colorado, I haven't really had an issue with it, but like my eyes are so sore, like the muscles are sore from like The eye
Looking at a computer, using them too much, man.
No, it's from like the Tourette's, like blinking my eyes so hard because I'm so stressed out about this. And
about the commute.
Everything, dude. Oh god, and like we're on.
You want to take a week off?
Base.
You want to take next week off the podcast?
No,
so you
dude,
can have a good night's sleep.
This is the best part of my week.
Yeah, but I mean, staring at a TV screen for an extra hour, well, it's not a TV screen, is it? I am just fucking sorry, everybody. I'm trying my hardest here.
Hey, don't worry. I have f.lux installed on my computer, which you can change the blueness or orangeness of it. So my screen is very, very dark orange right now. So it's.
Do you have like an audio program that can just throw on computer screen to the last thing I said when I accidentally suggested you might be looking at a TV screen?
Give me a sound clip right now. Say computer screen.
Let me know how you want me to deliver the line.
As Scarlett Johansson as a computer, as an AI.
So you want me to be
her?
Nice. Good movie.
Haven't seen it.
Wait, what am I saying again?
Computer screen.
Oh, computer screen? Computer screen.
Ooh, sexy.
I was trying. I didn't want to go too. That was bad. Give me like two other ones that aren't her. Literally her. The name of the movie.
God, what's the guy's name?
Yeah, and just no more. Yeah, only rule for the next two suggestions: no more Scarlett Johansson fictional characters, not her or any of the other characters in her. But it can be a Joaquin Phoenix character that's not in the movie Her.
What? I don't even know who that is.
I just am asking you to avoid me to do another ScarJo impression.
Oh, okay. Who's the guy? Christopher Walken.
Oh, God. Everyone already has so many. That one's been nailed, and I don't know it.
Well, it's your turn to nail it.
Computer screen. No, that was bad.
Okay, Morgan Freeman. Get real close to that mic.
Computer screen. No, that was bad.
Okay.
These are the hardest ones, man. These are such specific. Although I guess if everybody can do them well, they're not that hard.
Okay, Ace Ventura from When Nature Calls, not Pet Detective, because his character wasn't quite as refined in the first movie.
Like the butt version or his face when he talks?
Yeah.
The one where... Which was the first thing to make me laugh really hard, I'm pretty sure. Was the... Hello. And just like... let's see. So I don't know the distinction between what you're trying to ask from me.
Don't worry about it.
And he doesn't alter his voice, so it's just Jim Carrey, right?
People will think that this is absolutely crazy, but I feel like his character was much more defined in the second movie, which is probably my favorite movie of all time.
Right, but I mean, in terms of a voice.
I don't know. I think it was a similar voice, but his deliveries were more timely. I think you could say.
Wait, what were some of the catchphrases
from the second one?
Right, something like that. That's half of doing impressions, though, is like writing fake dialogue. Like if you're doing a Philly accent, you have a bad writer involved with your team if you don't have the word "would'er" included. You know what I mean? Or if like you're trying to do a fake Pittsburgh thing and you don't have the phrase "up there." You know what I mean? So if I'm just limited to saying computer screen, how am I supposed to do like a Christopher Walken where it's like, you got to get yourself some free-range chickens? Nah, I even that up. What you got to do, you got to find yourself some free-range chickens. Or something. I just saw some YouTube video. But you got to write to the words that are easy to nail.
Okay. Well,
so Ace Ventura, I mean, you can do like, something like that, but Somebody Stop Me would be The Mask, right?
Yeah.
Why can't I remember Ace Ventura's catchphrases?
I don't. What about catchphrases? I mean, there's a lot of like quotes from the second movie.
Yeah, stuff he's known for, like. I
mean, Laces Out, damn, but that's the first one. But that's not a catchphrase. What's his catchphrase?
I don't know. How is this slipping my mind? These were funny and important. It felt like at the time. I mean, he was on top of the world for like a little while there, right?
He's still on top of my world.
He seems like a sad guy, and I just want to talk to him.
You should try to.
Maybe I'll tweet at him. And be like, hey, man.
Ooh.
You all right?
From the podcast.
Ooh.
Get that retweet, man.
He's just really funny. I like it a lot.
Yeah, so do you want to go into the
Yes, I'm sorry for the impressions, but there's not a lot you can do with the word computer. Computer, god damn, why can I not even tap into walking at all? Not that I ever have. I don't know why I think like I'm going to find it if I keep trying it. You got a computer screen. Andy Dufresne was my computer screen. That's the best. I was trying to do like Shawshank Morgan Freeman.
I was thinking more James Earl Jones Morgan Freeman. Computers.
Those are two different people that don't sound very like you. Morgan Freeman is like, I never saw Andy Dufresne after that day. James Earl Jones is like, Luke. I don't know, just deeper than I can.
No, you know, like the in a world.
Yeah, but I don't know. Morgan Freeman, there's more like of a human range to it. James Earl Jones is just has a bigger throat, I think, than any of us could even dream to. And Andy sat back, and it's as if we were free that day. Computer screen. But today, this week's show.
We spent way too long on that.
This is your fault. Sorry to everybody. You should go back and edit in like a make your own adventure podcast. Like skip ahead on the 15-second skip ahead button 6 times to stay on track.
I love it.
But we wanted to talk about what we wanted to be when we grow up. Because this started with a joke about houses. No, we were just talking about like what's our dream house, and we were thinking about what we wanted to be when we grow up, and kind of where we are now on track, and kind of comparing those, kind of expectations versus reality.
Right. And what's funny about this is like I got totally fixated on the house portion of this, and I didn't even see the part where you're like talking about. Yeah, so you wrote like dream reality in future, and I was thinking like dream house in future because I just got totally obsessed with my idea.
No,
of that is
you're not wrong, man. I thought about that was my first thought was like if we could spend I don't know, but the thing is I didn't know if we could spend a whole podcast like doing fake Sims explanations of like say you had unlimited Rosebud cheat codes, what would you build? And I figured that might be hard to explain. So we could tap into some other dream scenario stuff just in case. But this did start with the house. You're not wrong.
Right. I'm just saying I'm totally unprepared. But that might be okay.
Well, now I'm curious. What did young Thomas want to be when he grew up?
I feel like I didn't figure out what I wanted to be until
talking like the first
year.
thing you said. The first time you said that sentence, like,
okay,
I want to be
right. I think I was in very early schooling, like maybe second grade, when the teacher asked, like, what do you want to be? And like, I had no idea. But I do really look up to my father, and my father was a sheet metal worker. So I said, I want to be a sheet metal worker. And what's so funny is my dad never wanted to be a fucking sheet metal worker. Like, it's just like something, that he...
well, he wanted to be an actor, right?
Right. And then he had us, so he had to find a more lucrative job. And then, of course...
Does he phrase it like that? When he was like, and then I had you.
But, no, not quite like that. But my sister was a surprise to everyone.
Surprise!
Right.
Even to your mom at the time it was happening.
But yeah, so that was the first thing I've ever said, but I didn't even really know what it was at the time. So I wasn't really too sure like what I wanted to be until maybe less than a year ago. But I've questioned it my whole life though. Because I've been in search of the answer. Which is probably, what this whole thing's about. But
Tom is crawling in the dark, searching for the answer. Is this what it's done? I don't know the words, but low-key, a jam of the 90s.
But I mean, what about you? What was like the first thing that you wanted to be?
So we had these books where we every year would write down who our friends were and what we wanted to be and what grade we're in and who our teacher's name was. And it was kind of, you would paste your school picture in the top. And so you'd flip through after you graduated and it would be funny or whatever. I think first documented thoughts. I mean, this is dangerous to hand a child a pen and tell him to write. But priest, astronaut.
Priest?
Yeah.
Wait, you didn't go to Catholic school though, did you?
No, CCD for years though. And my mom was a little better about taking us. She kind of backed off when my brother came out of the closet, and the priest at the church we were at the time was kind of not right to him.
Right.
Just dismissive. Nothing like. I don't want to insinuate it was anything more than just being a little dismissive, like in cold-shouldered or anything. But so she backed off of the Catholicism thing after that. But yeah, when we were young, we'd go every Sunday and all that. Anyway, priest, professional baseball player / astronaut was the trio that I wanted to. I didn't want just one of those things. I was like, I'll do all three.
Oh, wow. All three.
Didn't work out quite as I thought it might at the time.
Be the first Martian pro baseball player who.
True. I might be the best baseball player to colonize Mars.
Right. Or the first.
And then I can just start my own church because that's the best way to make money.
Right. Ooh.
Ooh.
Gloves off.
Yeah.
But for real, right? Like, why don't they pay taxes?
I don't think I think I slipped up there. I don't think I've really laid down too many takes.
Oh, you know what? Hold on. I need to turn the heat off. 1 second.
Okay. Oh, because of that steaming hot take?
I can't believe I forgot to, and it takes like a minute to like fully shut off once it gets going.
Yeah.
That's funny though.
No, literally, the founder of Scientology said that.
You
wrote
can
that.
keep talking. I will try to say quick things until the heat turns off.
Oh, okay. Well, you want to start talking to make it warm for your throat? I don't know.
Say what?
Oh, right. You're working on the heater thing. So Scientology, we just mentioned. There's the movie The Master, which people said was loosely based on the story of Scientology. And even, I saw the documentary on HBO, and it was terrifying. It made me believe they were tracking me just for laughing at any joke ever told about the church.
Oh, God.
Anyway, there's a scene in the movie where Amy Adams has Philip Seymour Hoffman at the sink, and you can kind of tell who low-key runs the church, even though they had just come ashore from the ship and bought a house. But she, does some... It's just weird to watch, man. It's one of those scenes you don't want to be watching with your parents, but it's also kind of like... I don't know what's happening, but this is incredible. Anyway, Philip Seymour Hoffman, Anyway, it's kind of strange. Hey, there's a Joaquin Phoenix role you could have had me do. Anyway, you asked me to start talking, and I kind of forgot what the hell was going on. Is the heater fixed?
It's still going, but it was the Martian baseball priest.
Oh, right. I was just rambling about it. You know what? We don't even have to include that part in the show, but it doesn't really
I liked
matter
it
at this point. Okay. Yeah, that was it. That was my answer to your question. Was I was pretty sure I would be able to juggle being a priest, professional baseball player, and astronaut.
All right, it's off now. But what age was that?
It might have been first grade tops.
Oh, okay. And do you still have those dreams, or have they developed at all?
I'm going to say priest is out. I think because okay, I didn't want to do this, but I guess we'll do it. I don't disagree with, so the concept of Christianity is what is like treat your neighbor as good as you'd want to be treated or whatever.
Well, that's what they say it is, but that's a bunch of horse.
Right. But at its core, that's what it is, right?
Sure.
So if the whole point of being, let's call it a pastor, because pastors can get married, because I don't want to be non-eligible.
Right.
You feel me?
Right.
But if my job would be to gather the community I was living in once a week to remind them just to, be good to one another, right?
That sounds good.
That seems all right. So I don't want to just laugh and snicker at religion because it's an easy joke. At its core, Catholicism, Christianity, that's what I thought it was. Anyway, so I'm not going to diss what it is. It takes different forms, and we wouldn't be saying anything anybody else has already said, so I won't spend too much time on that. But
right, yeah.
I could see the appeal of the profession if it were of a pastor variety and I could wed. Baseball, I already said I can't throw very hard. I was decent in high school. Yeah, I actually had like an under 1 ERA my senior year, which was pretty good, but I threw so many innings my rotator cuff partially tore.
Oh, God.
And it still kind of clicks when I sleep on it. But I had a good year, man. Doctor said, you want to play in college? You want to finish it out? And I toughed it out. Took 9 Tylenols a day.
What's the 1 ERA?
It's like earned run average. So how many runs a game, runs per 9 or 7 innings you give up, depending on the level. So I was giving up less than 1 run per game on average.
Wait, like 1 run, like home run, or like run to first base? No,
just that many people cross the plate on average per game. Yeah, it was a good year. Alex Tombaugh, Brittany Tomba's younger brother, he actually had a better ERA than me. And he faced a little tougher competition, but he was an underclassman. He threw a little harder than I did. Like I said, I just pitched to contact and let our good defense field ground balls and throw people out at first. But he had a way better curveball, and we both pretty potent combo. And then Jake Zazorek would come in, and he could throw probably 10 miles an hour faster than Alex and I could. So it was a good mix of speeds and arm angles. I was a lefty; they were both righties.
Right. But you weren't. Were you ambidextrous, or was that someone else?
No, I tried to develop a right-handed pitch, and it looked good right up until there's a thing called a balance point in the process of throwing a pitch, where you have become perpendicular towards the plate and your knees up.
Uh-huh.
Right, the moment where your front leg would go towards the plate and your arms would come apart. Right, that's when it fell apart. I just looked totally feminine. From that point on. But it looked good. I could do the steps, and I even threw the glove back over the head, but as soon as I had to throw with my right arm, it got ugly fast.
Yeah.
But I do still love baseball, and I liked playing it growing up. I don't think I'd be opposed to doing it professionally if I were able.
They're like the highest paid, right?
Is it paid?
No, I mean they're the highest paid athletes, right?
I think athletes they're all pretty ridiculously paid.
Well, yeah.
I don't know. The caps keep rising for certain leagues, certain players. It depends. I mean, you could be barely in the league and making the league minimum in any of football, baseball, or basketball, or you could be like LeBron or Bryce Harper or
right.
I don't know, some football player that makes a lot. I can't think right now. I'm not a big numbers person on that front. Anyway, it would be a very lucrative. I mean, even the worst person in each league makes a couple $100,000 a year, right?
God.
Yeah, I think the baseball minimum is $300,000 a year.
What the
for a season,
dude? Oh, that pisses me off, dude.
It's not their fault. People go to see it.
Anyways, before I go to
would it be fair to say that's capitalism, or how would you phrase that? That's supply and demand, right?
Stupid.
I guess, but I mean, every single person that's ever bought a ticket to see a baseball game that can fund such behavior,
right,
disagrees with you.
Yeah,
course,
it's just you
know what I mean.
Yeah, it's entertainment.
I wish people thought it was cooler to go support each other's art and stuff, but they don't.
Yeah.
If you had a friend that was like, "Hey, I have an art show," it's dumb. If they did their damnedest to try to get somebody to come down the street to a local church rectory or something where they hung up a real modest little art show. No more than 20 people, even at its peak, would be there. I bet. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
and
dude. Yeah.
They wouldn't have been able to charge to get in and stuff like that. And yeah, the allocation of interest might be in the internet age expanding a touch, but I mean, I understand your frustration with. I don't know, man. Everyone's just trying to make it through the day, and I'll admit I don't mind watching a little baseball, on my off time, just with a beer in hand and whatnot.
Well, yeah,
it's a simple thing that it's easy to get good at. It's something I played before. I understand what's going on, and I can drink a beer. And if it's a it's just, I don't know. Sometimes it's fun to do stuff that's easy to do. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like you said, your eyes starts twitching a little more. Anyway, I'm getting off on a tangent. That's pretty inconsequential. But yeah, those were the three things.
But so for astronaut,
I don't think my eyesight.
Probably out.
Yeah, my asthma and my eyesight. My general being a weak person. Just like, I'm not exactly Navy SEAL material, I don't think. Pretty bird-chested, pretty lanky. Not good at running, not good at lifting weights. Yeah, I don't know can you bring an inhaler into space? I don't know. Would you need anything? It was probably a pretty sterile environment.
Huh. Would an inhaler in space work? Well, it's compressed air that you're forcing.
Well, would you? I think the question becomes: would an asthmatic need an inhaler in space?
Oh,
and I suppose if it was exercise induced, perhaps, but mine is pretty specifically mold and dust. And
dude, no, you'd be fine.
Right? Yeah, NASA's not going to have a dusty shuttle. I'm saying. Yeah. No, just kidding. But anyway, yeah. So pretty lofty, but. Anyway, now we've talked about this at length so far in the podcast. I don't, whatever. Get paid and then have fun with your just dudes being bros, man. Bros being dudes.
But yeah, like I struggled throughout my whole life, like not knowing what could possibly make me happy to do like 40 hours a week, and like then there was the struggle of like, does it need to make me happy? Like,
I think the question changes because when you're in first grade, it's like, what do you want to be when you grow up? I'm like,
right.
I want to do all the cool stuff. I want to read the Bible to people and hit baseballs and go to the fucking moon. But now it's like, then the question changes to like, hey, do you want to go to Iroquois with your friends or do you want to go to Academy? Do you have a better shot at a better college?
Right.
I'm like, well, what? You know what I mean? Like, that's a way different path. So now there's a path. And then it's like, what do you want to go to college to study to do? And I'm like, oh, I have to like, all right, well... So I guess baseball. Okay, no more baseball. Yeah, the changing of the question is
right. And yeah, I mean, it was just hard for me because I have a lot of interests, but I didn't want to make them a profession necessarily. Like I wasn't going to go to college.
You almost did though, right?
You
went to school to record music.
Well, yeah, and see, that's the thing. Like, I wasn't going to go to college. I was on tour with a band. I was just going to.
Literally called Run Forever, and you were doing that.
So, like, I mean, it was a small tour. It was actually their first tour. We didn't make any money on it. Like, it wasn't going to be the job, right? Like, it was just something I wanted to do.
It was like a David Brent tour, right?
Huh?
Like the original British Office. I don't know why I use that as an example. It's not realistic. They got a bus and they went out and they did some shows, right?
I mean, yeah, that's basically all we did. They're doing pretty well now. They're actually on a pretty good record label.
Oh, nice. Tony Hennon? Or no, Tony Kansas City Riot guy or Kansas City Massacre guy.
Oh, Tony Highball, yeah.
Yeah. Nicest guy I've ever met.
So they were doing pretty well. I think they might have actually broke up recently, but I mean, they had like a 10-year run, but I didn't really want to do like music professionally, but then I got scared into going to college, and I figured if I'm going to do anything, it would be like music related. So I went to school for recording, but I wasn't really sure like what in recording I wanted to do because I think we've talked about this. I didn't actually really find much joy in recording other people. So I thought maybe.
So you knew that going in.
Right. So I thought maybe audio for film be fun to just work in a dark studio with no one around you and just, working through a script or something. And then it was like maybe I wanted to do coffee. I wasn't really sure. But now, I was at a wood shop exploring that, that area, and it was fun, but then I figured this is more of a hobby thing that I'd be interested in. because none of the stuff that I'd want to make actually makes any money. But that's when I started listening to podcasts and listened to a lot of like entrepreneur podcasts, and it really opened my mind to like, I was never happy thinking about like a job that I can do, because in my head I was always working for someone else. So no matter what it was, even if it was the coolest thing I could think of, I didn't want to do it because the situation in my head was to be an employee. So I started listening to all these podcasts, and I was like, well, I like doing the producing thing, but I didn't like the human interaction necessarily. I was like, and I love podcasts. Like, what if I just produce podcasts? And like, that's what I'm doing. I'm launching like my first show a week from today, actually.
Hey, Tom, what's the name of that show?
It's called Ad Astra. It's on space
What's
policy.
it about?
Space policy and technology.
Huh.
And
what are the host names?
Jack Carali and Newton Campbell.
What kind of topics do you think they'll be covering on this space show?
Well, they'll have 4 episodes out next week.
4 already?
Yeah, so they've been recording for the past month because I wanted to put out a bunch at a time. So right before we recorded this, after my 13-hour workday, I spent an hour and a half editing before the show, because they're going to be on a Wednesday schedule, which means I have to edit their shows before we record ours. But so like now that's like totally what I want to do. And actually I want to do it so badly that I'm going to a podcasting conference in Anaheim in August that I got my ticket for today. Don't have the money for it. Threw it on a credit card.
You're good at that.
Still need to figure out my plane ticket, where I'm going to stay. But the prices were going to go up significantly after tonight. So
the price to what?
To the conference. It's like a 3-day conference.
Oh, so you don't have the plane yet. You have the ticket to the conference.
Yes. Yeah, so I'm trying to like...
How much are the plane tickets?
If I go down on a Tuesday, it's Wednesday through Friday. So I was going to go down on a Tuesday, figure out where I'm going to go for the conference to stay close by. And then...
Where is it?
It's in Anaheim, California.
How big is the airport in Anaheim?
I think it's LAX is where you have to go, which is like an hour and a half in traffic. But
that sounds a little booty, but
my sister lives kind of around that area. So my girlfriend Megan was thinking about coming down and then spending the weekend in San Clemente with my sister. But then we have to figure out the dog. Like,
road trip down, dude.
But I mean, this isn't the point of. Sorry, I went off on a tangent.
Well, now I'm trying to think of how to get you there, but I'm like, oh shit, people are listening to this. We should plan. We should have a meeting after the show.
I was thinking about trying to do like a crowdfunding thing, but dude, no one cares about what I'm trying to do. Like, it sounds.
Yeah, I didn't know. I didn't know how to tell you that when you texted me the one day.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna wait and avoid talking about it. But
yeah,
it's
hard to make people give a shit about anything.
I mean, there are people that are dying from cancer and shit on that site.
Right. Well, hey man, a buddy of mine wanted a pair of Heelys and raised $75 to buy a pair of Heelys. So.
Wow. Yeah, I guess there was that dude that, what was it, a food related?
Yeah, dude, I donated $10. He wanted to make potato salad.
Yeah, that's right. And then that spawned thousands of. It's like winning the lottery or something.
Yeah, I mean that dude actually. So I donated to his thing, and he got like hundreds of thousands of dollars. So he turned it into this like huge charity event and like had this massive party. I think it might have been in like Ohio or somewhere like Midwest. And he didn't just like keep the money, which is like would have been easy for someone to do,
Yeah.
But he turned it into a big thing and actually did a lot of good from it. So that was kind of cool. But anyways, dude, man.
Half people are good, half people are bad.
Sure.
Maybe a little more, one way or the other.
Right.
I'm not sure.
Right.
But that guy seems like a good one.
Definitely. I feel like this might be a short episode today because we got started.
Oh, wait, Tom, we haven't even got to the fucking point of the show.
No. I'm not saying close it out. I'm not saying close it out right now.
Tom.
But listen.
You waited half an hour and then we finally said we're going to do our Sims dream life.
Oh, we're doing the dream house? Okay.
We're not even into the thing.
We're not.
All we covered is what we wanted to be when we grow up, which was a toss-in, unless you're feeling tired, which is all right also.
I need to be up at 4 a.m. for the next
undecided
future.
Okay. Let me zip through this.
Well, you don't have to rush too much.
Tom, Tom, well,
But,
you are ripping me one way and another, man. Okay, so I wanted to be all sorts of stuff. But now I'm a journalist, which I don't mind either, to be honest. I get paid to write, and it's kind of nice, and I'm all right at it. I can do it fast if I need to, and I can do it thoughtfully when I have enough time to. It's not a very high ceiling paying field on average, right?
Yeah.
Unless you are an anchor for CNN or something, I guess. And Prince dying, obviously. Anyway, so this house, well, you know what? I think my version of my dream house has changed. There is a porch up top, like a porch on the second floor, a porch on the bottom floor in the front, a porch on the back that you grill on or whatever, and a yard big enough to play kickball in or something, right?
Right.
Just I don't know. But the more I see these, I kind of love the Facebook videos about those 3D printed concrete circular one-floor homes.
Right.
And I kind of really love the idea, and I don't even know how cost efficient it would be, but those shipping container houses.
Oh, dude.
I don't even know why I love that idea so much, but I wanted to just put 3 layers of 3 Jenga blocks side by side, and then just spend a lot of time and just have fun with figuring out which walls I would cut out to create which rooms,
Right.
But it would probably look awful, not fit into any neighborhood I was in, not be very well insulated, probably be more cramped and not worth it unless you made it just the giant cube anyhow. Anyway, so I don't know, man. But it's fun to think about if you had an unlimited budget.
Well, what are you thinking for what kind of square footage? How many bedrooms? Finished basement? Do you want an attic space? Detached garage? What's your landscaping situation like? Pools, hot tubs?
Okay,
acreage?
So you saw my yard growing up. It's probably 20 yards wide, 40 to 60 yards long.
It was a respectable suburban neighborhood.
I think the neighbor directly behind us just gave up one day on you know what I mean? I don't know why the plot was that big because the neighborhood wasn't, and the other side of the street got kind of screwed, or the other side of the backyard.
Right.
But it was a good ghost in the graveyard yard.
Oh yeah.
But the house wasn't very big. It was just a Cape Cod style house. So I think I don't mind having that house, but maybe I would make sure there was a second bathroom downstairs. Just because I know there were a lot of getting ready for church moments where...
Oh, in one bathroom.
Not even that. Maybe coming home from a road trip or something. But you're just if you don't get to the bathroom first, then something weird and bad's going to happen. You know what I mean? I just remember not being first a couple times and just banging on the door I don't know how to say this, but I am just telling you I need this more than you do. But your negotiating skills aren't quite as calm when you're 11, You're just yes, Miss Kathleen, my eldest sister, please, dearest, I very dearly need to use the John. And to my younger brother, John, who is also in there. I know you're f***ing with me because I know you're not, So I would make sure. Actually, that's about it. Anything I could afford that has a second bathroom.
Really?
And
so
then I would probably let Jesse decide the rest. A porch. I'd like a porch. I liked having a nice yard growing up. Trees for shade in the summer, I guess.
Right.
I think it'll be somewhere in Ohio. I think I'm narrowing geographically down.
So you're looking to not right now, but interested in buying in Ohio.
I don't know about buying. I don't know how much money.
Okay.
I don't have anything close to a down payment.
Well, no, I don't mean realistically putting money down, but
I don't know. I've never really been a New York guy. I've been there probably half a dozen or more times. Some just passing through, but
New York City or just New York?
Yeah.
Oh, New York City sucks, dude. So
that's kind of where my thinking got shaped. But then I went out and lived in Albuquerque, which is the opposite. How about I go nowhere? You know what I mean? And that was a little less. And I don't know. I feel comfortable in Ohio. I feel adult in Ohio. I don't know. I spent my college years there, so I feel like I know the politics and the background and the history of the state a little more than I do for covering it for so many years.
Right.
Than I would know about Pennsylvania. Because I just grew up in PA, and Erie's not even really Pennsylvania. It's just, you know what I mean? It's just their lake property.
Right.
So, Like, I never went to Harrisburg or Gettysburg or anything like that. Like, I don't really feel connected. I definitely don't feel connected to people that grew up in Philadelphia. And more on that later. That'll be my recommendation for the week, is something that has to do with PA. But,
Okay.
yeah, so I think I feel comfortable in Ohio. I like Cleveland enough. And I'm anxious to find out more about Cincinnati. We'll see. I could be eating my words in 7 years. It's really anybody's guess.
Well,
Milwaukee seems nice. Although I guess it's pretty racist there, people say. Or something.
Oh, God.
So maybe I take it all back. Maybe it's not that nice.
Kyle and Kylie, who are going to be doing the Nintendo show, they have a house in Cincinnati, and it is like the cutest little house on the outside, like 2 white pillars on either. Like it's a perfectly symmetrical house, probably 50s or 60s, like early 60s, and dude, it was awesome. Like it's pretty small, but like so. God, I watch a lot of HGTV, and it was just like, it was so charming. Like there were so many. It was like a little craftsman house. I want to live in like a super like. I think I.
Do they like it down there in Cincinnati?
Yeah, they love it. I think.
Yeah, I think everyone I talked to, Hamilton County went blue, so it might be a little less. I mean, when I first thought about that part of the state of Ohio, it's a swing state for a reason. In Cuyahoga County, where Cleveland is, goes blue, and not a lot else does. So I wasn't sure if it was just all red down that way because it does share a border with Indiana and Kentucky.
Sure.
And again, this isn't a political podcast, so it's not really my business. But demographics-wise, I was curious what I was getting into. But apparently Hamilton County, where Cincinnati is, went blue. And there's a couple universities there and things like that. So the brewery scene, just like any other city on the uplands, is apparently all right. Anyway, people keep telling me not to sleep on Cincinnati, like it might be a sneaky, pleasant river city that's pretty when the sun sets and hits the water in the summer or something, something like that.
Right.
I've always lived on a lake town, so we'll see how living on a river feels. Anyway, a house that's big enough to host company, and I'm not really that picky, to be honest.
If you had your dream house, like,
right? Yeah, I'd get a shipping container thing,
okay,
and design it myself or something,
like a super modern thing.
Not necessarily. Just it seems like a cheap, green way to do it. Take 9 used containers and try to polish them up and use them or something. What I would really want is an earth home, like in Taos, New Mexico. It's a northern part of New Mexico. They build it halfway into the ground and halfway out, and they use double-plated glass to use condensation, so it's self-sustaining or something like that. But it uses like negative electricity or something like that. Google, put it in the show notes. Earth homes.
Earth homes, okay.
Or Earthships in Taos, New Mexico. If
sure.
I really had a choice, and I would try to leave. You know what I want to do is have a yard or live in a place where I can try to have like, my latest kick is being able to construct my own.
Sure.
Like wind turbine. Like I don't want to sound too overly ambitious, but there are a couple blogs out there where you could spend $400 on supplies, and they teach you how to make a little motor or rotor, and you set it up in your backyard. There's like the $900 version one, then there's like the $350 version. You know what I mean? Depending on how sturdy you want to make it and things like that.
Wow.
But part of me wants to, I don't know, hook up a electric. The common theme here is I don't want to use I want to figure out a way to not use electricity or, power.
Well, hey, man, I might know a company who can...
is that so? Hook me up with the roof?
Yeah.
I am very much all about that.
Should we throw a timeline on that wind turbine for you? Because look, Pat, if we don't, you might never do it.
Yeah, but where would I put it before I owned the property to do it?
Yeah.
Just be lugging it around.
Well, how tall is it?
I don't know yet. 9 feet.
Okay.
It could be 9 feet. It could be 7. It could be 13. I forget, man.
You can just.
I haven't casually read the blog in like 2 months. I don't know. It's on some blog, man. I didn't read the measurements yet, just because I knew I didn't have 900 extra bucks.
Right.
I have. I'm not going to go into it, but I'm not in the black. There's just some credit card stuff I got to squash after doing distance with Jesse for a year and buying flights. So.
Oh man, but that comes to an end like next week, right? You're going down to New Mexico.
Oh yeah, I guess I kind of buried the lead. I'm going to New Mexico this weekend to help Jesse drive across country back to her house in eastern Oklahoma near Fort Smith, Arkansas, in the foothills of the Ozarks. So yeah, we're going to stop in her college town, Norman, which is home of the Sooners, Boomer Sooner, for all you Sooners out there, which is south of Oklahoma City by like half an hour. But yeah, we're going to take I-40 out of Albuquerque. We're going to have one last drink with some old friends on Saturday. And then we're going to hit the road, and we'll spend a couple days with her parents. And I'll fly back to Cleveland. She is going to stay there for a couple weeks. And then her first day is the last Monday in March. So
wow,
it's going down, man. I sent her like kind of my last piece of mail. I bought like a novelty thing of stamps off Amazon that had a bunch of old trucks on it because I was like, how can I make mail cool? And she's like, I don't. Who gives a shit about stamps? I'm like, yeah, I guess you're right. I thought it'd be thoughtful or something, but so I bought this like 36 stamp book of just the regular American flag forever stamp. And I'm only down between those two purchases I made at the beginning, or like a few months in, I'm down to like 3 American flag stamps. So,
wow.
Yeah, a lot of mail, Tom. You know, I sent a lot of mail, a lot of flowers. The last shipment of flowers got there today to wish her a happy last week at work and all that. So, and I cashed in my loyalty points at the flower store in Albuquerque to get this one.
Oh my God.
$25 off.
Heyo.
It was kind of weird. I'm like, man, that was a lot of flowers.
That's awesome, man. I'm really excited for you.
Yeah, sure. Me too. I guess I should have brought that up, but I feel like I've been talking about it so goddamn much that no one cares anymore. It's just like, yeah. But yeah, no, I'm still very much a fan of her work. Very much in love with her, and it's going the down, man. So. Distance has not been easy, and I know I'm not the most sane-seeming person on a normal basis, but I hope I've not been too, off the track lately. It's felt that way, certainly internally. So, but it's good vibes and things. We'll check out Cincinnati and see how it tastes, see how it fits. Drink some beer, hang out with some old OU buddies.
I think we'll get your wind turbine.
Yeah, man, I'd really like to someday. Or hook it up to an exercise bike, or I just want to toy around with generating electricity in some way. I don't know, just tinker. And being green, I think is. I know we don't try to get political on the podcast, but I don't really think it's political to not be wasteful. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So to me, it's just that's a. If we plan to procreate, we have to be considerate. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
I don't want to... Sorry if I sound like a fucking douchebag, which I probably do. Anyway, sorry for sounding like a douchebag, but to me, that seems like pretty common sense stuff.
Excuse me.
But you're yawning, and so that... Do you have it... Well, how about your dream house, Tom?
No, dude, I'm fine.
Okay, all right.
So yeah, I mean...
All right.
I had the Rosebud sheet in Sims, and I built this massive house and had no idea how to furnish it. Like, I was really bad at building a house. But I sent you these 2 pictures in the quip, concept drawings of like just super modern houses with like wall, like.
So the first one looked like Sydney, Australia's skyline. And then the other one looked like an outhouse.
I mean, they're just like, these like ultra modern houses where like a whole wall is glass and.
Oh yeah, like Falling Water. You know what? That's my dream house, Falling Water in Western PA.
Yes.
Was it Frank Lloyd?
Weber, right? Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, so like, kind of borrowing from like the mid-century modern stuff. I mean, it's illegal to live off the grid in most places.
Really?
Yeah.
I guess everybody owns the land. Somebody owns the land, right? You can't just go build a house anymore.
Well, no, what I mean is like, so like in Colorado, like I work for a company installing solar panels. we can generate more than enough power to run your house 100% on solar, but the gas companies got all pissed off and lobbied that you have to have at least 10% of your power coming from this company Excel, who basically runs, all the power in Colorado, because they want their money,
Yeah, I think I saw that. You know what I saw was, because I'm all, I'm like, why don't we just take the sun and the wind? It's there every fucking day. And we wouldn't have to freaking fight over it. The other thing that we use. But, Germany, Merkel or whatever, I think she passed, there's one city that, I'm going to butcher this and I'm sorry, everybody, but they invested heavily in wind, and then they were creating such a surplus that it started to flow into generators that were across the border to their south, I think.
I think you brought that up last week.
Yeah, it was crazy to me. It was like, oh, there's like a problem that it creates. You know what I mean? Like, they're making too much. The wind's blowing too much.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing with like...
But it's only because, like you said, like the companies are like, well, we still have to make money, so...
Well, and this is the thing, so
maybe there's not a super efficient way to store it. Like, battery technology is like 100 years behind, right? Like,
well,
where it was when it started.
You're not allowed to store it in a lot of places because the power companies want that money. So the only option would be to send that back to the grid. Then not only would the power companies not be making money, they'd owe you money for what you're giving back to the grid.
Yeah.
And I think good. F them, dude. Like, it's such an outdated, whatever. Like, f them. Let them fail. Let's progress as a
what sucks is
intelligent species.
What sucks is like, oh gosh, we can skip ahead. I'm just saying, like, there's just money and jobs surrounding the way things were running off of other things if a switch were to occur too quickly, is that too many jobs lost? Is that too many this or that?
The solar industry employs more workers than all of the other energy companies combined.
That sounds nice.
It's growing at an exponential rate. So f your job, come work for solar.
There you go.
But anyway,
nothing wrong with putting people to work, Tom.
Anyways, we'll get back on topic. We'll get back on topic. You're right. So I want.
But I mean, like digging for coal, like, I guess.
Like, no.
Here, let me clarify, because again, we don't like to get political. I don't wish a lack of a job on anybody, but it's an interesting discussion, and I'm glad
I don't wish you the lack of a job. I wish you a better job, with a better company and a better industry.
Sounds like a brochure.
But anyway, so yeah, I want like a super modern house, and I want like the smartest of the smart house. Like, I want to walk up to my door and not have to reach for a key to unlock it. They already have this. It's like a proximity with your iPhone. The shit just unlocks.
Hello, Tom. It's like, yo, what's good, Zach? Hello, Zach. You live here? Yay, we're homeless.
And I just, I want like everything connected. I want to walk in the door and my house just knows what I want. I want the blinds shut all the time. I don't like seeing light coming in my house. I like it dark. So I want to walk in, the blinds shut, and it's at like whatever temperature. And, I walk into the studio and everything's all ready for me to go in there. Like, I want
you're on some Jarvis shit.
I want some sci-fi shit going on in my house, but also,
all right.
It's funny you brought up the shipping container, because I really want, I want a good amount of property, first of all, but I would love to have a shipping container studio in the backyard that's like a dedicated like music and podcasting studio, completely separate from the house. I would also...
You've always enjoyed the thought of a Newfound Glory house where the band lives there and records and...
Right. I would like it to be like a separate house, or like have a small apartment with like, the kitchen and stuff like that.
Sure. If Zach and I were to come over later in life, we could mess around.
Yeah. And, I'm not even like too much into the thought of recording music right now, mostly because I just don't have time. But,
True.
I want to work from home and I want a separate workspace. I have a bedroom.
It's important, man. You're not supposed to watch TV in your bedroom, and you shouldn't shit where you eat. All sorts of sayings.
Oh yeah,
like that.
so we don't have a TV in our bedroom, and it's amazing.
You ever try to get work done at the place where you usually sit to watch TV and eat?
Right.
It's not going to happen.
Right. So I have my studio in the second bedroom. The only thing I do in here is work. So when I'm in this room, I'm working. When I step into this room, I already know what I'm going to be doing, and I'm already in that zone, and it's amazing.
Yeah. Sometimes it sucks that humans can be conditioned so easily, but yeah, I mean, that's really all it takes.
Right, and it's amazing, but still, if a dog is walking outside and his collar tingles, then my dog is going to freak out, and, you can hear the TV on the other side of the wall. It's still very distracting. It's still hard to separate. I'd like to think when I'm in this room, I'm working the same as if I'm clocked in at my 9-to-5 job. That's how I want to treat it. And it's hard to when you're actually physically in your home with, real life stuff going on. So I just my big thing is I want enough space with separation for guests to, come over and stay. I'd prefer an open floor plan, just a super modern house.
Yeah.
And none of that is mandatory. This is my dream.
Right.
Separate workspace, big yard, maybe a little pond in there. Who knows? And I would love to have a part of the garage for a wood, not a big wood shop, but just a table saw and a planer, so I can make
enough
some
stuff where you could just whip something up some Saturday. I'm gonna make a fucking table.
Right. And
not that you'd have that much scrap wood, but
right. And this is, me being selfish. I plan on doing this with my girlfriend, and she is into a lot of different kinds of art. So I want her to have her art studios and her video production room. And, we can have a photography and video room with the green screen, the white screen that
are there kids in this scenario?
Floor to the wall. Yeah, kids, whatever. They can have their own annex of the house.
Which of the 4 awesome things you just said goes first?
In order of importance?
Yeah, I'm just playing around though, really. This is the part of the podcast where we crush each other's dreams. Well, we might have 3 kids, so we might not have any studios, and so much for the barn.
But yeah, man, I could pretty much be happy anywhere as long as I have a place to do my work. And
I just had a second dream. Right now. Oscar the Grouch style, where you're like, what? This is just a trash bin. You're like, wait a minute. And then you go down, you're like, this is huge!
Some Harry Potter
underground mansion! And
That'd be
I would
dope.
Beg my people that came there to be like, don't tell anybody, because I need this to be a surprise every time. I want the reaction. I feed off of it.
I guess if I had to pick the single most important thing, well, also I didn't mention, I want it to be renewable and all that stuff.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, so solar panels, whatever. I want the Tesla battery pack to charge my Tesla car.
You know what I have to say to that?
What?
Hell yeah. That's my best Morgan Freeman.
The single most important thing.
Sure.
So
you like Elon Musk, you're saying?
I am so fucking tired of being in my living space and having to worry about the way that I'm living or the way that other people's lives impact mine. Living in an apartment when you can hear noise, you can smell their smoke. Am I having sex too loud? I don't ever want to have that thought. If it's 2 in the fucking morning and I'm home alone and I want to play drums, I want to do it without bothering anyone. Because even if...
You know what? You could just put on your sandals, walk out to your space container garage pad space, and jam out, dude.
Oh, dude, yeah.
With your clam out, dude.
Yeah.
I don't know what that saying means. It might be sexual. It's been bleeped before.
It's a vagina thing.
Oh, I'm sorry. That was crass. Continue, please.
But anyway, so yeah, that's I want separation. I want privacy.
Well, I take it back. I want you to be jamming out with that veracity or that much vigor for life. but perhaps I wouldn't use that phrasing if I knew what it meant. Again, just to clarify.
Right. So yeah, that's my dream. But also at the same time, I do kind of want to like retire and die at my dad's farmhouse in upstate New York.
Because you could do all those things at that farmhouse. You could turn the barn into a studio, and the house is nice.
Oh yeah, and there's already a wood shop and a metal shop in that barn.
Yeah,
amazing property. Yeah, I mean you could do any of that except the house is 120 years old.
Who owns it?
My dad.
That's pretty dope.
Yep.
Does he own any of the grapevines that surround it in Northeast PA?
He does not.
No, it's in Ripley, New York.
Right. So he had grapevines, but they are very hard to manage. So he took them down. I'd say it. But we're surrounded by our one neighbor. The one neighbor that they share a street with alone has 50 acres of grapes, and there's like hundreds of thousands or something in that area.
Love that smell in the fall. Going out to football games in Northeast, and you could just smell grapes. It was just like, what a weird corner of the country we live in.
What was their high school football team name?
The Grape Pickers. Those who pick grapes. And they were always really good, so you can never make too much fun. It's like, your mascot's dumb. It's like, we just beat you by like 30 points in basketball. It's like, oh, God. How many Neal brothers and cousins are there?
So yeah, it is kind of hard to describe like a house, but
sure.
I mean, there are things that I really do want, like if I could totally have everything. But if someone was like, okay, Tom, here's like a blank check, design your house and put everything in it, I wouldn't know where to begin. Like I'm not that kind of person. Like I would have to have someone design it for me, basically. I
think Jesse's a fan, from what I can tell, because she likes to go to thrift shops and just like imagine buying an expensively dumb table. You know what I mean? Like, this table's so expensive. You know, like, what a table. Yeah. Maybe someday, table, I'm coming back for you. But most of it's like really dark wood, Mad Men era, like cocktail lounge. You know what I mean? Like those really wide TV sets that you would keep your liquor on the left side of it and all your records on the right side of it or something. You know what I mean? So like hardwood Mad Men era is kind of her. I think we're on the same wavelength aesthetically. So, but to be honest, I would, if my parents were like, hey, we're going to get a new house, you want this one? I'd be like, I mean, yeah, I guess. Sure, free house, nice, cool, yeah. You know what I mean? Like, the Cape Cod I grew up in. Yeah, okay. It's not an easy thing to acquire property.
It is not. And also, I want all of my furnishings to be all my surfaces to be in live edge walnut hardwood, at least 8/4 thick. Some real thick. For the layman, that's 2 inches thick.
Wait, what? Wait, hold on, whoa. What's gonna be thick?
The walnut slab.
Ooh, on what?
Everything.
Ooh. I keep thinking of, while I was trying to stall there for a minute, I kept trying to think of what the internet joke was surrounding low-key thick, where they say THICC.
Oh, God.
And I just still don't get it. I think it's a butt thing.
Oh.
See, people say millennial like Gen Xers are millennials, but I think, and I said it before, I'll say it again, there's a post-Cobain, pre-Hannah Montana wasteland that you and I are just dying in, and no one will fucking acknowledge it. It pisses me off. And, there was a list today that was like, millennials aren't buying these things. It's like bar soap, cereal. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? I eat cereal all the time. I just bathed with a bar, like.
Bar soap?
Pert Plus,
dude. Dr.
Pert Plus
Bronner's,
and a bar of Dove extra lotiony soap. It feels good on my skin.
You should look into Dr. Bronner's.
My old roommate Clark did. For as environmentally conscious as I sit here on this mic and spew, at least for the last 30 minutes I have, you think I'd only want to use one plastic bottle every 16 months.
Right.
But it was a little minty for my taste. Maybe I'll revisit it. But I'm usually, Pert. It's the original 2-in-1.
Oh, God.
Yeah. It's gotten last before. I'll retire it now. I think I've even used that on you. It's not even my joke. It's an Ellen joke. She made a joke about it. It's like the original 2-in-1, like Pert Plus, and my mom laughed. So I've probably used it 7 times in the last 10 years because of that laugh my mom got in the living room. And it officially died today. So I will never say the tagline to Pert Plus again. Sorry, everybody.
Do you want to go into
Highlight of the week?
highlights, music, and get out of here?
Yeah. Highlight of the week. Jessie is moving. Her last day.
I'll bleep
I
it.
haven't said the name yet. Can you bleep it?
I will.
Thank God. Let me start over. I don't know if you play the noise again when we do it, but yeah, this is Jessie's last week in New Mexico, and we get to drive cross country, well, halfway this weekend, and I'm pretty excited. Good stuff.
Yeah, dude, that's unreal for sure.
It is, yeah. For all those hours I've spent making you listen to me talk about it, and Aaron and everyone else, it will at least be a different flavor or a new chapter to discuss or chew on a little bit. So yeah, no, it's pretty short, sweet for me this week.
Awesome. God, I don't really know. I haven't thought about it at all. And my week has been pretty much plagued by stress about the, moving down jobs. But I will say, I don't know if I even brought this up last week, but the whole going to the Springs thing was, we volunteered to go as a team to keep our team together because we all really like each other. And then it turned out that like they were going to break the team up anyway. And I was just going to go down to the Springs with one other dude. And I was like really upset about it. And then we were hearing that like we weren't going to get paid for our time down there and they weren't going to pay us for gas. And it was like, dude, this sucks. I was getting all upset about it. But then I found out today that our whole team is staying together and we will be getting paid for our time driving down there. So I'm going to try to find a way to bring one of Megan's old laptops back to life to try to be able to edit on the road. I doubt it's going to be able to handle the stuff that I do on Pro Tools, but
If you want to take a week off, dude, that's more than understandable.
no, dude, not allowed. You're allowed. I'm not allowed though.
Okay, I'm going to ask for a week off next week.
Okay.
But it's for you. But it's for me.
But yeah, so I'm excited that the team's sticking together because I actually
it sounds like it's a good. Sounds like there's, and I hate to wily this thing up, but sounds like there's some good synergy there.
There is, man, and our crew lead was sick on Monday, which is yesterday.
Sick like shredding gnar, or just like cough cough, I'm ill, but not ill like motherfucker, I'm ill, like in a rap verse, but. He was down. He came down with something.
He had food poisoning, so we went out with a different crew, and it was miserable. Like I have never appreciated the guys I worked with so much before. So I'm really glad we're together. The situation could be a lot worse. It's a bummer that it's going to be a lot of extra hours, but so I bring my Nintendo Switch with me every day and play Zelda in the car. And we're going to like take turns. So we have 5 people on our crew now, only one person, or you only have to drive once a week.
So you enjoy all the other commutes with your video?
Yeah. So like I brought that and we're all 5 going to be in a car, just like rotating cars. And I have this little tripod that can wrap around things. And Jacob and I have been watching The Office in the car.
Yeah, I saw the tweet. Very, very, very nice.
So
very fun.
So yeah, I'll put a link in the show notes, but we have like this little tripod that wraps around our mirror and it hangs down and we have like the dude's like big phone playing The Office on there through the speakers. So like we were just all watching The Office and I'm playing Zelda and it's a long drive, dude, but it's honestly
not exactly heading down to the coal mines, is it?
Right. So very happy to be with those guys. And we have a pretty cool setup going on right now. So John. Song of the week, what do you got?
I listened to your other Manor Band song and it was good.
Cool.
I almost felt weird listening to the original Manor Band one at work.
Boston
it's a little like
Manor?
The one, Boston Manor, I think it's like, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
But it's good. It's got a good hook. But it's like it's like a pretty 2002 hook. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
I don't want to be jamming around my like 35-year-old coworkers just in case. I always had that fear where if my like when a song comes on, I'm like, am I okay with my headphones slipping out on accident during this? You know what I mean? Like depending on the proximity of people to me and how loud my speaker or my headphones are.
Right.
So that one was a little, like emo, but this new one, it sounds like a nice little song, Sounds like it's uncharacteristic of them or something almost. I'll have to listen to more of their music, but...
It's pretty good.
Good. Yeah, but it thumbs up ultimately.
Dude, I just realized I think I totally forgot to listen to that song again.
This is okay. Now I feel better because at least I scrambled to look at the Twitter account and listen to your other Manor song before the episode started. The thing is, I always remember because of this next episode, and then I listen to it the week after, so I always have more to say 2 weeks after the original recommendation.
Right.
Both Manor songs were solid, but this one is Claustrophobe by Laura Stevenson.
Yeah.
Even I know the name of it now.
I'm sorry, dude. I
don't care.
Getting ready.
Scrap all of this because my recommendation for this week trumps all of that. Although, really write it down. Okay. I actually moved a notepad and pen into my recording space so I can write down your recommendations from now on.
Wow.
Because, wow.
Well, I also put it in quip from the last time.
Yeah, Owen Wilson. You should have asked me to do Owen Wilson earlier. Although, really, all you can do is the wow.
All right. So, what do you got this week?
Okay, not music, which I go rogue sometimes. It's not fuck you. It's all in good fun here. You will not be cursing my name, sir, after you watch. So, okay, backstory. At work, week 1, there's a table. If you don't want something, you set it there. It's called the free table. I've gotten 2 glass pint cups, a mug, and a Kroll Show Season 4 DVD, or Season 3 DVD, from this free table. Not to mention all the donuts and old slices of pizza and stuff.
Right.
Not until my internet went out last night. I don't know if it was a snow thing or a storm thing or what, but I started watching, finally, months later, the Kroll Show, Nick Kroll on Comedy Central. Uh-huh. It's not there anymore, but... 1, it's very funny, but 2, I'm going to lead you specifically to go to YouTube right now and look up Pawn Sylvania. It's a fake pawn shop show, reality show, about 2 cousins who own a pawn shop in Philly and in Pittsburgh. And it is the most Pennsylvania-specific humor I've ever heard, but it's also really good to anyone else. So I just want you this week to go to YouTube and watch the Pawn Sylvania Kroll Show sketches, all the ones you can find, and tell me it's not the funniest fucking stuff. The accents are good. Earlier in this episode, I even did the water in the up air thing.
Right.
And that's because it's fresh on my mind. But it's quite good. I enjoy it a lot. And I'll stop being so wordy and let you go. I'm just excited. It's fucking funny.
All right. I'm excited about it. He is pretty funny.
Yeah, I mean, I get that people are like, oh, that absurdist Adult Swim stuff is bullshit. Like, well, fuck you. Then don't laugh at it. Watch something you laugh at. I'm not asking you not to be happy. Just don't fucking shit on my day.
This week, I mentioned them a while ago. This band Air Combat, from Vancouver, Canada. I know the drummer in the band, and
Air Combat?
Air Combat. Yeah, so they put out an EP yesterday, actually, and I did an album review of it, which was a lot of fun. They reached out to me like a month ago. I've had the album it's an EP, 6-track EP, 1 interlude. I've had it for like a month, and I've been listening to it pretty much nonstop for the month.
The album is 1 interlude?
No, sorry. It's 6 songs, and one of them is an interlude. So
or I mean the title.
The title of the album is The Story of the Boy with a Stolen Name.
Ooh, so I'm interested.
It's a concept album.
Like Tommy, but it's 2017.
Right. So the first song...
Also, I'm sorry, this pen isn't working really well, so if you hear a bunch of banging around, it's because I'm trying to get the ink out of this fucking pen.
I'll put it in the quip. Don't worry about it. That's what iPhones are for.
Story of the name of the stolen boy.
If you can...
Is that what it is?
Story of the boy with a stolen name.
Stolen name. The boy's not stolen. The name's stolen.
Yes.
Okay, that should do it.
The opening song, Trigger Warning, Falling on Deaf Ears, I like a lot.
Okay.
It's very like Say Anything to me.
Ooh.
But yeah, so I wrote this review. It was a lot of fun. It was my first time putting ads on my website, and I generated 1 single penny in
Yay.
and from Google AdSense. I'm pretty excited about it.
Holler.
And if you're wondering, that's what 175 web page views gets you, 1 penny. But the album is very good, and if you read the lyrics like for the album all the way through, it's even better. Yeah, so that's my recommendation.
Cool. But I think we had a good show. It was fun.
Yeah, it was a nice Pi Day special. Happy Pi Day, by the way.
Hey, well, actually,
Oh, it's not for
it's
you.
3:15 Mountain Time.
It's 11 something here.
But who am I to be a hater? It was a good Pi Days. If you want to have pie, enjoy it. Life's short. Eat stuff with sugar in it if you want. Not too much, though. Don't make it too short. All right. Yeah, but happy Pi Day 3.14159. That's about as far as I can go.
That's all you need.
Yeah, fair enough. I really just am glad you said that because I was seeing photos today on social media about it, and like a baseball team at spring training lined up their players. Yeah. Oh, really? Oh, I retweeted it. Yeah.
One of my favorite videos from my favorite podcast, Hello Internet. One of the dudes, Brady Heron, he printed out like the first million digits of pi, and he laid them out on like an airport tarmac, and it was like a mile long, and it was like a mile of pi, and man, they went crazy. They're like, oh, and at this digit, you can see 7 consecutive threes in a row, which is the longest run in like, this and that. And
Sure.
a lot of really interesting stuff. And there's like different sequences and numbers that are significant. And it's a cool video. It's worth the watch. Link in the show notes. You can find those show notes along with, well, I guess if you're already listening to it, you don't need to have the audio, but it's at www.elemental.fm/reminiscent/18, which is, I think, the episode we're on. I've said it a lot. So yeah, you can find the show notes there. You can find past shows.
It's our show. It can be episode 18 if we want. Get rid of some other fucking episode.
You can find past shows. You can find links to pretty much anything that we talked about today. Try to be good at giving you all visuals. And you can tweet at us on Twitter at _reminiscentfm. The network will officially launch next Wednesday. You can follow the network at elemental_FM. I did own Elemental FM at one point and lost the password, so I had to make a new one. But yeah, so hit us up on there. We've been having some pretty cool conversations with people lately, and we see these numbers come in every day, and it's just cool to hear from people who listen. So give us a shout, and we will be back next week with some more stuff.
All right, real quick.
Yeah,
you can cut it there if you want. But I was gonna try something that I wanted to start the show with this week, but I didn't think if I was gonna do it well enough, it'd be a bad foot.
Okay.
So can I just delve into something, and then we'll just end the show after that, and you can cut it out completely if you feel it's necessary?
Okay.
Or you can save it.
All right.
Okay. So I go to this wedding.